Welcome back to Cottage Designs by Erin. Today I'm going to be speaking with you on how to open your very own Etsy shop. And I will have things that you can take notes on, so you might want to grab a piece of paper and a pen. I have had a couple ladies that I know from Quilt Guild ask me about how they could open an Etsy shop. So in particular, this video is made for Maria and also for Candy. So I'm going to walk you through the process and let you know what you will need. You will need an email address, username, your bank account information, a password, a store banner, and your phone number. All right, so why do you need all that stuff? Well, you're going to have to get paid when you open your account, and so you will have to have your direct deposit information so that Etsy can pay you immediately as soon as you sell something. So the most important aspect of opening an account on Etsy is your brand. You need to figure out what you want to call yourself. So take it from me, I have tried various different names and not all of them were a hit. First, I had Thoreau's Cabin, as in the writer Henry David Thoreau. And in that shop, I was selling handmade primitives that were tea dyed, like dolls and quilts and little cute little knick-knacky things to decorate with. While I did sell some items, it was not a very successful store. And I think it's because no one could spell Thoreau, no one knew how to find it. After that, I had Romantic Designs. Not a hit. Okay, that did not encompass any particular decorating aspect. Next, I had Erin's Originals. My store at this point in time focuses strictly on handmade doll clothing. But when I first started, I had a little bit of everything. I sold glassware. I sold a lot of kitsch items from the 1950s, like tablecloths and pillows and things like that. And while it was a lot of fun, it also became a headache because shipping glassware costs the earth. If it breaks, it's an all-out nightmare. I ran out of the tablecloths that I was selling because I was buying them at auctions. Well, the auction house that I purchased from sold, and so I no longer had a resource to sell the items that I was bringing to my customers. So I decided to strictly go to selling doll clothes, which is my biggest money maker. Originally, the name of my shop for doll clothes was Erin's Originals. No one could spell Erin. Is it E-R-I-N, A-A-R-O-N, A-E-R-I-N? There's a multitude of ways. So again, while I did sell some dresses under that name, it was not all-encompassing. So I switched my brand to be called Cottage Designs by Erin. My personal style is a mix of shabby chic, French country, and cottage design. So my business cards now look like this. And it's just a simple sewing machine, and they're black and white. I purchased them off of Vistaprint, and then I went to Curious Crow on Etsy and found a banner. So these are two websites that you will need. Vistaprint for t-shirts, bags, coffee mugs, business cards, anything and everything with your name on it. Curious Crow is where you can go buy your store banner. So the banner is just strictly the design that goes at the top of the page. So here's my website on Etsy. And here's my banner. Okay. And I went with just a simple black and white design with sewing machines because that encompasses what I do. Once you decide what your logo is going to be, let's say your logo is going to be Cottagecore and More. Okay. I just made that up off the top of my head. Feel free to use it. It's not branded. If you want to use that slogan, then you have to go in, pretend that you're looking for a shop with that name. You will click on Shop, Cottagecore, and More. If there's not a shop listed, that means that name has not been taken. So then you're going to go into Curious Crow, and you're going to find a banner that you like in a color scheme that fits your needs. Okay, don't go with trendy color schemes. If you remember in the 2000s when everything was brown and aqua, That is already out. Okay, so you don't want brown and aqua. Again, I just went with the little standard black and white. You need to pick a name that can be easily spelled. You need to use color theory for your banner. Red and yellow sticks out in people's minds. Aqua and pink presents its own image. So you need to consider all that. Once you have purchased your store banner and clicked Open Store, you are now ready to upload your first picture and write your description. Okay, so let me pull up my site. This is what my site looks like. I have all my little dolls in their little backgrounds. Okay, let me scroll some more. I have Madame Alexander dolls. I have Jenny dolls. Right now we're transitioning from Halloween to Christmas. So again, the name of my store is Cottage Designs by Erin on Etsy. Now, you are given 22 to 25 store categories over here. My categories used to be glassware, chic accessories, clothing accessories. I used to sell vintage hats. I love the vintage look. The house that I'm currently buying is from 1942, and I am chomping at the bit to get in there because I cannot wait to go in and decorate it and put my own touches on it. So I love that vintage feel. But it started to become too much for me to store in my own house. All these items were taking over. Even though I'm pretty organized and I had them in totes and I had them labeled and all that, it just became too much. When my doll clothing started taking off and I saw that I was really onto something with the doll clothes, I stayed with the doll clothes. So now that's basically all I sell. Once in a while, I might throw in some dress patterns. So once you upload your picture, you have your store categories. My categories are all doll categories right now. Madame Alexander, clothes for antique dolls, American Girl dolls, Barbie, Patty Playpal, Revlon, Shirley Temple, on and on. I tend to sew for vintage 1950s dolls. That is where the most money is at, because collectors still want the big bouffant dresses. You cannot find them anymore. The dolls are antique now, so typically once they become a certain age, their clothes dry rot. The elastic falls out of the panties. The taffeta will fade. It will discolor. And so people made fun of me. They said, what kind of shop are you going to open? What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to sew doll clothes. What? You're not going to make any money sewing doll clothes. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Who's going to buy that stuff? You would be surprised. So let me get into my actual store area. Give me 1 minute. Of course, the internet just disconnected when you don't want it to. All right, let me see here. Review, store policies. Okay, that's another thing. You will have to go to your store policies and all that. Set those up. I basically do not allow returned items. And it's not because I'm trying to be mean or anything like that. I do not want bed bugs, head lice, or any of those things brought back to my home. So I do not allow people to return items. It's for hygiene issues. Okay, I'm trying to find a specific area on here that I want you to see. I don't know if I'm going to find it. It's bringing up everything but what I actually want. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you. I make excellent side money on doll clothes. I just wrote $24,000 in doll clothes. Did I make that all in the last year? Absolutely not. It's taken me years to make that much money. But what I'm telling you is if you chip away at the stone and you continue to make your product, write your description, upload your product, it will sell and you will make money. And so all the information I'm giving you, I just taught a little class to a couple coworkers last year, and I showed them how to go do everything. And I have a lady that I work with who does wood designs, and she's doing very well at it. Okay, so let's go back to description. You're going to tell who is the product for, what is it made out of, what are the actual measurements, what are the dimensions of it. If I sell a doll dress, let me grab one. This is one I just took pictures of recently. I'm going to say made for the diminutive 8-inch Madame Alexander 1950s doll. Dress is 100% cotton. It features a lined bodice and a full circle skirt. At the hemline is vintage rickrack hem. Dress snaps in the back. Trims include red ribbon, a silk rosette. Buyer will receive the dress, the panties, and the matching hair bow. Doll not included. All right, that's how my descriptions are basically going to be written. Do not ever include anything in the picture that those people could possibly think. I don't care if it's your dog, your cat, your pillow, whatever it is. Do not include it in the picture because they will want it. Well, you didn't send the pillow and that was shown in the picture. Well, no kidding, because you're buying a doll dress, not the pillow. But listen, they will try you. There are shysters out there. I have been burned numerous times, but I will say, for the most part, I have more honest customers than dishonest. All right, so we've talked about branding. We talked about how to write your description, including as much detail as possible. For your pictures, on my doll pictures, I learned from another Erin, and she was the owner and operator of Cupcake Cutie Pie. Oh, I love that store. Cupcake Cutie Pie was a feast for the eyes. It has now been closed, but Erin, I reached out to her and I said, I would love to do what you do. Can you teach me how to make beautiful scenic backdrops like what you have? She's like, oh, Erin, it's easy. All you do is you go purchase the backdrops here, here, and here. Well, I mean, I didn't have any idea. And so it's helpful to get with someone else who's doing what you aspire to do. All right, after the item has sold, you are now going to ship. I bag up every little dress with the title of the dress, who the doll, what dress is the doll for. And I put a little business card on my inside my little baggie. And then I have a shipping basket that looks like so. And it is full of polyvinyl mailers. And I also have these great big labels that I stick on the outside. And sometimes I cut these labels in half so that they'll go further. I keep Sharpie markers available so that I can write the addresses on there. And that is how I ship my items. Now, back in the days of shipping milk glass cake pedestals, you cannot imagine how difficult that was. I shipped one day in a old sewing machine box. I stuck it in between the foam and it made it there just fine, and it stressed me out so much I didn't ever want to have to ship that again. So that is why I quit shipping big heavy glass. Let's see, I'm trying to find monthly statements. All activities. Okay, so when you get into your account here on Etsy, if you go to all activities, it'll show you when your last item shipped, how much it cost you, how much you made off of it. It's very detailed on here, and it's super user-friendly, which is what I like about it. Okay, so you can see what you made the last 3 months, last 6 months, last 12 months, all this year, all last year. And if you check it on your phone, it says all time, the all-time amount. So that way then you know what you've made up to this point. Also, now we're back to my public page. All of your reviews are kept on your public page. All right, so it shows I have a star up here. It shows if you're a star seller or not, and you want to stay with star seller status. To present the best image when you mail, it would be helpful if your labels, your business cards, now I don't always, there's my label. I don't always match my bags. Right now it is fall. I have fall bags. I have Christmas bags. I buy polyvinyl mailers off of eBay, and I typically buy them by the 50 pack to 100 pack. That way then the more you buy, the cheaper they are. My customers love this. They love it, baby. Whenever they get a package and it has seasonal, it's in a seasonal bag, they comment about how cute it is. So it's nice to keep everything nice and neat. You're trying to present an image. After you mail it, you will be given a receipt with the tracking. Take that tracking number, go to your car, upload the tracking into Etsy. As soon as that item has arrived and has been delivered, like give them a day or 2 days, go in and say, hey, I see that your item arrived. Could you possibly leave me a positive review? And typically they will. They don't always want to. Getting positive reviews is like pulling teeth. But if you ask nicely, and then if they give me a positive review, I give them 10% off their next order. And that makes it helpful. So what did we learn today? You learned where to buy your business cards and your merch, Vistaprint.com. Where do I buy my store banner? Curious Crow on Etsy. How do I determine my brand? Go to Etsy and look and see if the store name that you want has been taken. If it hasn't, then you can apply for it. Okay, then we talked about selecting your banner, writing your description. Taking pictures is another whole issue. I learned that when I photograph these little dolls, I try to do something cutesy pootsy that has to do with the season. So I've got a little mini Christmas tree for her. I've got a Christmas backdrop. I have all kinds of backdrops, which is why I'm moving to another house, because I have a lot of merchandise that goes along with this business. After your item sells, package it very well to the best of your ability, and make sure that you send it in a waterproof container. Once it arrives, ask for feedback. Okay. Once you get rolling and you start making a little bit of money, wait until you get $1,000 saved up, and then go ask for a professional business checking account. So that way then you can keep your business finances separate from your personal finances. They will give you a debit card. And that way then when you have to go buy more materials, whatever your media is, in my case it's fabric, I always need ribbon, snaps, that sort of thing from Hobby Lobby, then you can use that card. I hope that you have found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And if I can in any way, shape, or form help you open your Etsy shop, please reach out to me. You can message me on Etsy, or you can email me at my personal email address, which is erinpittington88@gmail.com. Have a great day.